Hello and welcome to a wee walk around North Murchison Cemetery in Edinburgh, in Dalry. Armed to the teeth as ever, with a spoiler. So I'm a PhD student studying ladybirds from the University of Aberdeen, and I visited Edinburgh to sample a particular species of ladybird. It's Harmoniac surdus, or harlequin ladybirds, they're invasive. And that kind of work often takes me to places like this. It seems ladybirds really like cemeteries. And you can see this place is pretty well grown in. Tools of the trade today, beating tray on the left, nope, right, and then net on the left with a ladybird there. And too hot for YouTube angle there. And a really nice panorama here that I didn't plan, but this is the beating tray. You can see it folds out into a big sail. Absolutely useless on a windy day. I've got quite a lot of problems with these tools actually in general. You can see the folded out beating tray there and the net on the left. Sweep net as it's called. Also got some natural gloves. These are great. Don't get stung by the nettle there. And I need a stick for the beating tray. And this is a pretty good stick. I've still got it. It's a great stick. That was the spoiler, by the way. So we're going to try to sample this tree. One of the problems with beating trays is that you can only sample kind of the lower parts of the tree, and you'd expect that there'd be differences in the insect species between different parts of the tree. But the basic idea is that you hit the tree and knock insects into the tray. I think you'll see a little something flying around on the right there. That's a lacewing that gets away, which is one of the other problems with beating trays. And another big problem you can see is debris. That's another lacewing. There's so much debris that it can be quite hard to tell what's what, right? So I think there's some Hemiptera, which are the bugs, six-legged and kind of round usually, and just so much debris. It's ridiculous, to be honest. I've only got a little screen to sort of review this on. Probably some flies too. But yeah, it's a big problem. This is a different tree. That last tree was a lime. This is sycamore, and it's covered in sycamore aphids. You can see them all clinging to the bottom of the tree there. So that's usually good ladybird food. So we're gonna give that a try with the beaten tray. You can probably expect what we're gonna catch here, but you'll see one of the great drawbacks of the beaten tray coming up. Yeah, you see they're all flying away. So if you wanted to quantify how many bugs you had, then good luck, is all I can say. But they are good for at least seeing what's there, right? Like if you want to find a rare species, there's a ladybird in the middle there. You got some moth species there, another ladybird. So these have all been 2 spots so far. Even the dark colored ones. 2 spot there, and then I think it's a large ladybird, but I actually don't know. 2 spot there, and so now we're going to try a different kind of vegetation. This is what I call fireweed. I think it's called milkweed in the UK, and you sample this with a sweep net. And sweep net's quite sturdy, and you just kind of run it through the vegetation for a set distance or amount of time, and all the bugs hopefully fall to the bottom. We've got a ladybird there, it's on a 2 spot, and it's pretty hard to see, but mostly Hemiptera, such your bugs, like plant hoppers and aphids, some flies. You often catch flies, but then they get out really quick, so it's not great. One helpful thing to do is try to put what you catch in the in the net in a big white sheet or something, just so you can see what you have. I used the camera to actually help me along for a moment there. So let's see, yeah, I've got some other Hemipterans. Quite a lot. It's quite common. And an important thing to do every time you use it is to try and get all the stuff out of it. So I've turned it inside out to try and remove all the insects. So if you were to try and figure out what's there, you need to not have stuff in there. So this is ladybird pupae sheddings. And so it's a good sign that there's some ladybirds in here. Ladybirds also really like nettles, which is what this is. nettles are usually covered in aphids, and we'll see that pretty soon. Okay, so I've got the gloves on this time. I didn't have it for the last one. Which I probably should have anyway, just in case. And yeah, you can see just nice technique, perfect technique, if you ask me at least. And actually I caught a wasp there. It's another thing you have to be, it's one of the things I don't like about the sweep netting. And another thing I don't like about it is that the, oh, there's a spider? Very nice. And there's some nettle aphids, very round. But this is the thing I don't like, is that you destroy part of the vegetation, which is not great, I think. I think it's probably fine for things like nettles, but if you were to do a rarer plant ecosystem or something, then I think you'd need something a little bit more refined. There's a really nice nettle aphid. Okay, and that's Harmonia axoritis as a larvae, and then that two-spot ladybird. That was a very quick clip. This is my first time doing this. Okay, we've got a little slater running around on a rock. And here we have a nice piece of wood. And you can see it's got lots of holes in it, which has been made by various insects. Flipping it over, we've got some more slaters, or isopods, I guess, and some millipedes. And these ones were mating. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to take a break from work, and we're going to try and do some tree ID. So this, I think, is in the Sorbus genus. But I actually had a really hard time IDing this. I'm not an expert by any means. You can see the leaves are doubly serrated, and they've got these white hairs underneath. And they've got these green berries, which I think are going to turn red. This is a European lime, I'm pretty sure. Very nice heart-shaped leaves. Also got hairy undersides. And then the fruits, I've got these kind of leaves that gives it away as a lime tree. I think the leaves give it away, to be honest. We've got another tree, an elm tree. So you can tell it's an elm tree. I'm trying to point out here that they've got these uneven leaves. You can see that they're kind of taller one side than the other. These are horsetails. These are an invasive plant. But they're really cool because they've been around for 100 million years, which is a really long time. So they're one of these living fossils. This cemetery and Dalry Cemetery are very interesting because this year the council's decided that they're not going to cut back as much. So they've got a lot more undergrowth, which has attracted a lot more insects, which is really great, I think. Okay, what am I showing you here? I am showing you a much better looking elm tree. I think it's the same species, but you can see it's much healthier looking. The leaves are much greener, uneven leaves, and you can see that they're alternate. So like the leaves aren't paired, they're not coming out of the same side each time. It's a different side each time. Here's another sycamore, and you can see just how covered in aphids there are just looking underneath them. If you walk into these trees, you'll get covered in aphids. And here's one of the dangers. Watch out for these leaning gravestones. Little ladybug on a tree we're gonna ID. I wonder what tree that is. We're gonna have to find out. Little tit, I think. And then here we've got fireweed and flower. Really nice flowers, I think. Okay, this big tree. This is the same species as before. More mating flies. Too hot for YouTube. Gonna get thrown off the platform. Pretty nice looking tree. You can see that the leaves are kind of paired, but it looks like maybe the leaf is one big leaf, the way that's kind of coming out of there. So I'm actually going to run you through how I like to ID. I'm using the Woodland Trust app for a tree ID. And we're going to go by the leaves. It's probably the easiest way this time of year. Okay, so we've got a few options for how the leaves themselves look. I think they're compound because they were all coming out of kind of one big stem, and they were paired. If you saw, I didn't catch if they were serrated or not, so I'm going to skip this question. They were definitely paired like this, and I think I'm going to skip this question too. Yeah, they were definitely green. And I'm just going to see what options we got. And yeah, European ash tree. You can see they've got these these leaves are actually like just one big kind of leaf. You can compare it to the elder, and the elder's got these serrated leaves. It's just, yeah, not the same. No. So definitely an ash tree, and I think one of the better giveaways was that we had a bud there. And you can see here on the buds, you'll get a better picture in a minute. They've got black tips, and that's another way you can ID trees, especially in the wintertime. And if that doesn't work, if you're still struggling with any kind of ID, then I would highly suggest this iNaturalist app. You can see I've already already ID'd it with this app as well, just to show you. You can just take a picture with your phone, and it will use some sort of AI tomfoolery and compare it. And what's even cooler is that you've got these achievements and challenges. It kind of makes you feel like you're playing Pokemon. I had to delete the app a while ago to make space on my phone, so I don't have any of these anymore. But these are pretty fun to do, especially for kids. So yeah, you can see that there's lots of lovely growth. I think I'm on my way out now. It's a really nice place to walk around. If you're in Edinburgh, I'd highly suggest trying Dalry Cemetery or North Merchiston. Here's a red-tailed bumblebee who's met an unfortunate end, but it's important to know that it's here because they're not all that common. They prefer the trees, I think. One last ladybird. Thanks for watching.